Hey everyone, I'm Lina from SplitMetrics. Hello and welcome to our app growth point dedicated to the interrelationship between ASO and ASA. Guys, could you please let us know in chat if you hear me well? Welcome. And before we start, I wanted to ask you about the weather outside your windows. What do you see currently? Is it sunny or it's probably raining or probably it's snowy? No one knows. Well, oh, thank you guys for your answers. Cool. Thank you so much for joining us. And while I'm waiting for your answers in regard to your weather conditions, that's really interesting. Let me introduce our speakers today. Like I already said, I'm Lina from SplitMetrics, and today we have amazing speakers who are going to share with you amazing tips, insights, best practices. I'm sure will be very useful. And I would like to introduce Thomas Kribernek. Thomas is actually the manager director and co-founder of AppRadar. He's an app enthusiast with over 15 years of experience in online marketing, in mobile marketing, and Thomas is a really well-known keynote speaker, a serial entrepreneur, and he's an active member of Austrian startup scene. Thank you so much for joining us today, Thomas. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lina, for having me. It's really a pleasure to be here today with all those amazing people already in the chat. I can also say over here in Graz it's also very hot. I'm reading the messages there. But yeah, really great to be here today.
Thanks, Thomas. And we also have our very own amazing Ludmila, our SplitMetrics treasure. Ludmila actually has more than 3 years of hands-on experience in Apple Search Ads, and just in the last year, she helped progress more than 20 apps, 8-digit worth of budget with SplitMetrics Acquire, formerly Search Ads HQ. This is our tool for Apple Search Ads management, automation, scaling, and optimization. Hi from Ukraine. Hi, Marina. Hello,
Yeah.
Frederick. Yeah, from Czech Republic. Hey guys, it's so cool you joined us. I'm so excited. So a few words about the webinar flow. We'll start soon. And in the end, we are planning to have a short Q&A session. So you may ask your questions, but actually you don't have to wait until the end of the webinar. You may type them right here, and we'll do our best to answer them. But even if we don't have enough time, since we have an hour, yes, and if we don't have enough time to answer them, no worries. We'll prepare the answers afterwards. Thomas and Ludmila will answer these questions actually, and we'll send them along with the recording of this webinar and along with the slides. So feel free to ask questions. So let's start. Please tell me if you see the webinar outline on your screens. Thomas and Ludmila, I see that you see. So we are ready to go, right? So let's start. And the first question here is, should ASO and paid user acquisition go hand in hand? Thomas, could you please start with this one?
Yes, I'm happy to start off into this webinar. Yeah, with, I would say, a very obvious question, and I assume that most of the people are in this webinar are here because they truly believe, yes, it should go hand in hand. And I can already tell you, yes, ASO and user acquisition and paid user acquisition, especially running Apple Search Ads, should really go hand in hand. Why is this the case? Because App Store optimization should be the central pillar of your user acquisition strategy for your mobile and your mobile games. Why is that the case? Simply speaking, it doesn't matter where you're running ads. It doesn't matter if people are talking about your app somewhere out there. At the end of the day, they will be landing within the App Store, where they will be searching for your app, or maybe they're clicking on an ad, then they land on the App Store, they land on your App Store listing, and this place really needs to convert as good as somehow possible all the traffic that is coming in into people that are actually downloading your app or your mobile game. And also, when we look a little bit further down the funnel, once people download the game, at the end of the day, we also care about not only the download, but we want to have active users that transform into also becoming paying customers. And this is also something where paid user acquisition, and once again, Apple Search Ads can give you a lot of insights and how you can excel from this knowledge that you're gathering. So to really set up a great strategy for your user acquisition.
Yeah, let me just cover this question and answer the question as well. First of all, hi, everyone. So great to see you. Yeah, absolutely right, Thomas. UA and SO managers are striving to get the installs and paying users. My answer would be to this question also very positive. Well, you know, since my early days at SplitMetrics, formerly Search Ads HQ, you probably heard about our great rebranding event. Many publishers have reached out to us to get some help, whether on Apple Search Ads optimization or scaling, but also on ASO side. And sometimes UA managers feel that they reach the ceiling with Apple Search Ads. And our question among the others on Apple Search Ads optimization side of things would be, hey guys, how are your ASO activities are doing? Because it's so hard to get, to run Apple Search Ads efficiently, scale, running discovery campaigns without having ASO in place. So, a good tendency that I also noticed that ASO and ASA teams turn to work together in close collaboration in order to leverage each other's results, as they have common points, common projects, keywords overlapping, screenshots, and both these processes should be ongoing. You know, when you set the hypothesis, you test, you do several iterations and updates. So absolutely, these are both parts of integral parts of a holistic approach that would lead us to mobile growth and get us to increasing visibility, definitely, when you can increase the number of organic installs, the desired number of conversion, and ultimately, guys, definitely lower your acquisition costs. So there is a clear interrelationship between organic optimization and paid UA. And now let's move on and dive into this duo, right?
Yes, that was really a great introduction for this slide, because at the end of the day, I mean, we all can run ads on different platforms out there, but I think the big challenge is that we run ads very efficiently and that we're not burning any money. And this is really where the beauty of App Store optimization can kick in, and it should also be your starting point. Let's have a look at your journey. Let's assume your app or your mobile game is already live within the App Store. So the first thing that you want to do when you're starting freshing out with this topic, or maybe you haven't touched it for a couple of weeks or even months, your first step should really be that you get an understanding of your current App Store optimization status. What I mean by that is you want to find out for which keywords am I currently ranking for, in which markets, on which position. Great news, App Store optimization tools like AppRadar were exactly built for that very specific use case, so they can help you identifying for which keywords you're currently ranking within the App Store. And once you identify for which keywords you're ranking, and when you're once again new to this topic, one of the things that you should then do as next is you should start to organize your keywords. You should organize your keywords in different clusters, which could contain, for example, brand keywords, competitor keywords, or keywords that are focusing on your use cases that your app or your mobile game is meant for. When you have clustered this, and when you get a really good understanding of how am I currently ranking for, you will start to see also patterns for specific keywords that you want to optimize towards to. Now here kicks in the beauty of Apple Search Ads. Because one of the, I would say, bigger downsides of App Store optimization, besides being really an amazing challenge, you should be doing is that it will take some time until you start seeing results. It will take some time until you can really push up your rankings on specific keywords. But the great news is, with the help of Apple Search Ads, you can really say, I want to rank for those specific keywords. Obviously, you have to say how much are you willing to pay for ranking for those specific keywords, but you can evaluate your strategy very fast and identify really good keywords for your app that convert the traffic and that bring you in new users and, once again, hopefully new paying customers.
Right. Thank you, Thomas. And let's discover how Apple Search Ads can work in collaboration with ASO. So definitely Apple Search Ads is a great source of data for app store optimization. So in covering what Thomas has just said, it's a great opportunity to mine new keywords, to strengthen your semantic core. And keep in mind that it's not only like discovery campaigns, only search match on, but also broad is also meant for discovery. It's a great opportunity to check a very small and specific storefront and mine some like keywords for Albanian or Azerbaijan storefront. Or for instance, you can check among all other Spanish countries for some peculiar word combinations. So like for instance, in Chile, there could be some keywords more popular due to customs and traditions than in Mexico, and then you can add them to your metadata. How you can measure whether these keywords are popular? So they're truly important parameters like Apple Search Ads can provide. Those are conversions. So it helps to estimate the effectiveness of a specific keyword. By the way, guys, here's a side note. I can't but mention our Apple Search Ads benchmarks report on all the averages of CPT and TTR and conversion rate. So you can download easily and keep a track of whether you are how you can estimate your at least current performance. Let's move on. By the way, I'm sure you can get some hints from in chat and the links. One more point here. So Apple Search Ads is a great opportunity to get the keywords search popularity score. So in Apple Search Ads, you do remember probably the score is marked by the blue dots. So the more dots you get, the bigger popularity. However, with some tools like SplitMetrics Acquire, formerly Search Ads HQ, you can get this popularity index and it's visualized in numbers. So from 5 to 100. So for sure, you will not be like, be so upset when you get no performance for the keyword when it's like 5 score, and it's exponential. And besides, Apple Search Ads also helps to evaluate more down the stream these desired events, post-install events like subscriptions, like game events. And then with the help of different solutions like we do, you can have this full funnel overview and get the understanding about the keywords that are bringing you not only that you spend, but also you get the revenue from. Okay, and all this ultimately will make your ASO strategy more driven and KPI oriented. Okay, so let's move and talk about a little bit more on the impact. No wonder that you guys are all curious about the impact of Apple Search Ads on ASO. This is, well, our strongest assumptions are that Apple Search Ads can be a part of your USA strategy as a whole to get your keywords to the higher positions. Well, you can ask me how. In order to answer these questions, let's recall what affects your ranking. So this is a combination of actions, patterns, criteria. The most important, the basics, definitely the keywords and metadata, but alongside there are other criteria like geo-optimization, average star rating, target audience, even retention, the way you like keep your audience, the LTV. Even such variables like build size and crashes or how frequently you update your app is very important. I know there are some cases where the app crashed and it was so hard to get back to the previous performance data, to the previous installs and previous numbers of impressions. Another important parameter that I'm going to talk to you that among those that I've enumerated that Apple takes into consideration are all daily installs and installs for a search query, which includes, by the way, organic and all other paid channels, including Apple Search Ads. So it takes into consideration like average 7-10 days. So don't expect if you get the spike and then drop that it could be like an average one, right? So it differs from country to country. But if you increase the number of installs for search query, it will help you climb to the top. So the more you receive installs, the better, the higher it will be. Another important variable, let's switch to another slide, Lena, please. Thank you so much. It's a conversion rate, a very important variable like TTR and conversions from from installs, from impressions to tabs and from tabs to installs. So indicates the relevancy or an attractiveness of your screenshots and the users intend to download. So it is truly important parameter for the algo of Apple Search Ads. So what I mean is the higher it is, the more chances to win the auction with all the bits and relevancy being equal to your competitors. Just a quick recap. So in order to win the auction, you need to pass this relevancy threshold, and then bits are taken into account. But alongside with all the being equal, this is very truly important parameter to take into account. So the higher it is, more chances to get more traffic, more installs, and get higher ranking. Another important topic I'm going to talk to you today about is to encourage to take advantage of ads variations using custom product pages. So this is the recent new feature from Apple Search Ads. Sometimes publishers mix it up with A/B testing, but it has nothing to do with A/B testing. So it's a great opportunity to highlight some outstanding features of functionality and stand out of your competitor. So you can test some keywords, themes, the clusters that Thomas has mentioned, right? So in comparison, and for generic keywords, don't miss out the opportunity on seasonality. You can run one-time promotion for an event, and all this ultimately will enhance your user acquisition strategy. What I mean is that improving, again, so to sum it up, improving CPT, improving TTR, the algorithm will consider you as more relevant app and will support your organic ranking. So it rewards high relevancy, and to some extent, it will increase the CPI. So, and I can't but mention here the our CPP playbook here. You're very welcome to download. This is a freshly baked one, the only one in the market. So with tips and tricks on how to increase TTR and scale your ads variations. So this is wonderful opportunity. Besides, with our tool like SplitMetrics Search Ads HQ, SplitMetrics Acquire, formerly Search Ads HQ, you can get this full funnel. Hopefully the MMP will be able to track, to push this data. Currently, not all of them are ready, but in case, once they're ready, it will be a great opportunity to see down the funnel metrics, and you are ready to compare them on graphs. So it's a great source. All right. Yeah, Thomas, what is, from your standpoint, is the impact? I'm just so curious to know your point of view.
Yeah, you already mentioned a lot of great knowledge nuggets, I would call them, that you were dropping here. So it's really amazing, all the knowledge and insights that you already shared around the custom product pages also, especially a very, very hot topic nowadays. I think what I would like to add here is, once again, when we talk about App Store optimization and Apple Search Ads, at the end of the day, we're kind of talking about keywords, and those specific keywords kind of are targeting specific use cases of your app, of your mobile game, also of people, obviously, that are searching for those keywords then within the App Store. So once again, the great benefit here of ASA now on App Store optimization is that you can analyze the performance of your keywords and you get more direct, more faster feedback if the keywords that you're trying to run or that you're running ads on are also relevant for your target audience out there. So in other words, when your ad is shown, do people click it or not? And this is, I think, very, very important, because you want to obviously identify exactly those keywords where people also click. And when they search for the specific keyword, they see your app. And this, when they click on download, they install your app, this is the best kind of target audience that you want to gather out there. And once again here, when you do this analysis, also check out, especially in combination with your custom product pages, because the beauty of the custom product pages is, I mean, I have to say, you need to be organized, to be honest. But at the end of the day, what you can do is you can really optimize your store listing for specific use cases, for specific features of your mobile game or of your mobile app. What I mean by that, to give you one example, let's assume, it's weekend, you're sitting at home, you're feeling a little bit bored. Outside, it's too hot, you just want to stay inside. You're opening up your smartphone and you're thinking okay, I want to play a game. And in my cases, you know, when I do, I'm a very competitive person. So what I normally do is I go into the App Store and I search for a keyword like PvP multiplayer game, because I want to compete myself with other real players out there and I want to become the best. So I'm going into the App Store, I'm searching for this keyword, and now what? Yeah. When I find now on position number 1 an ad where I, you know, just see with a blink of an eye on the screenshots, okay, this looks really competitive. This looks really that I'm playing against other people. Compared to if I'm doing this, you know, in my head, I want to play a PvP multiplayer game. I search for this keyword and then I find, I don't know, a puzzle game where I obviously know, okay, I'm the only one who is going to play that. Maybe there are levelers or something in the background, but it is not a PvP game where I'm competing against others. I will not click on the download button and I will start scrolling through the organic listings. So therefore, always have this in mind, the relevancy of the keywords with the store listing. This is really where you can optimize a lot. And when we talk about that, it is really, once again, to sum up, ASO and ASA should be two marketing channels that accelerate each other. To give you really good examples here, yeah. So for example, if you find new keywords when you're running ads and you see, okay, they're performing really good, you have really good conversion rates on specific keywords, take those keywords and bring them into your store listing. We're also later going to talk about localization, but here already the teaser. Think also about translating those really good performing keywords into other languages as well. And on the other hand side, when you find really good converting custom product pages, guess what? Take those screenshots and bring them into your store listing, into your main store listing. I mean, here kind of disclaimer, yeah, obviously, once again, have in mind that these screenshots should, when they are on your normal store listing, they should be a bit generic, you know, they should not be narrowed down to one specific use case only, because people, you want to rank for multiple keywords, multiple use cases. But nevertheless, this is where you can really gather a lot of insights and bring them over to your App Store listing.
Thank you so much, Thomas and Ludmila. Thank you so much for such cool tips. And we'll talk about screenshots and visuals a bit later. And now let's have, guys, thank you so much for being so active on chat. You are just amazing. Let's have a very short break, like 1 minute. I'm going to launch a poll. I think everyone will be interested in the results. You'll just see it on your screens, so please vote. Just 1 minute. There are 5 options. The question is, have you already combined your ASO and Apple Search Ads efforts? And 5 options for answers: not yes, not yet use only ASO, not yet use only ASA. Yes, I'm super cool and already use both. Just planning to combine these 2 channels soon, or I'm just starting and don't use neither ASO nor Apple Search Ads yet. Thank you so much for voting. The results are interesting. What's cool, I see that most of you already combine ASO and Apple Search Ads. That's really great. Thank you. More than, like, almost, 44% already use ASO and Apple Search Ads, but the results are changing in the live mode. And 15 seconds left. Make a vote. Your vote is important. Yes, thank you for everyone who voted. We have like 45% of you guys are already using ASO and Apple Search Ads. 15% use only ASO. But I think you are considering using Apple Search Ads since you're here today. 9% use only Apple Search Ads. 17% are planning to combine these efforts very soon. Good luck, guys, and I think we will be helpful for you today. And 11% are just at the beginning of the road, and I wish you very good luck. And now let's proceed and discuss the impact of ASO on Apple Search Ads, and I'm yielding the floor to Ludmila.
Thank you, guys. Well, very interesting poll, great results. It actually has proven the ideas that I've shared just in the beginning. Right, so right now let's talk vice versa, the impact of ASO on Apple Search Ads. So down the line, there is a direct impact. I should answer straight away. When you have ASO in place, you improve relevancy of keywords for the algo, which results in better visibility for these keywords in Apple Search Ads. And it works great for the discovery campaigns as they perform better, simply. Well, Thomas has shared already a couple of examples, some tips. And from my side would be a tip like this. So if you if you got fewer impressions and the performance is not really stable within Apple Search Ads, and you consider these keywords to be relevant keywords, so you check the relevancy score, it's high enough. You also check the bits, they are already good. Our suggestions from our side would be to try to add these keywords to your metadata in order to increase the relevancy for the algo to match your metadata with the search terms that the users are looking for. Okay, and secondly, I can't but mention the visuals, because optimized screenshots can help to increase TTR. Once the visuals optimized, it's very important parameter, and it helps to scale Apple Search Ads and increase volume. But in general, it can increase and it can decrease. So you need to get all the aspects into account, and definitely they should be optimized in terms of like taking account all the best practices. We conducted a number of experiments, and with optimized App Store listing, truly optimized after like being A/B tested, running Apple Search Ads at the same time, we managed to decrease CPI by 2 times and get more installs. Yeah, so let's move on and get some, we tried to accumulate the common points here and prove some interrelationship. And here are some hands-on that we came up with. Thomas, here you go. Thomas, the microphone is yours.
Perfect. Yeah. So let's jump on into the hands-on part. Yeah. How ASO and ASA can be combined really hands-on. Yeah. So first of all, I really want to say that we have seen the best results of our clients once they really start streamlining their ASO and ASA strategies, since they both enhance each other. And at the end of the day, we're talking about keywords in both channels. And that is kind of what is really the epicenter of all of it. I want to take up a question of Marina from the audience that I've seen in the chat, because there is the question on ASO. I'm only having very limited space to target specific keywords. And ASA, on the other hand side, they can go crazy and nearly unlimited amount of keywords that I can target. So what should I do? How should I come up with a strategy in the background? So first of all, I think it is very important when we talk about keywords that when we talk about keywords, like we already heard before, there's also search volume in the background, which means that not every keyword has the same people or the same amount of people out there searching for this very specific keyword. So in other words, what you want to do is you want to rank organically as good as possible on the most search keywords that are kind of relevant for your app. But here comes into play, obviously, there are other apps out there that are having the same strategies. Maybe they also have bigger budgets. Maybe they are older than you. Maybe they simply rank better. So therefore, you really need to identify your sweet spot. And at the end of the day, your ASO strategy should be really focusing on optimizing your keywords, your main keywords for your app. And when we talk about optimizing the keywords for your app, we're jumping into the next topic, especially when we talk about, okay, I'm now getting a specific amount of downloads, but I want more. What can I do? One of the things that you can do is you can start localizing your mobile game or your mobile app into different languages. Why is that important? Because at the end of the day, nobody, or not everybody is the right wording, not everybody speaks English on this planet. So therefore, especially for somebody like me, I'm born and raised in Austria. I'm speaking German as my mother tongue, and I'm very used to consume kind of every kind of entertainment content in German. So this also means when I'm going into the App Store and I'm searching for specific apps, and if I see they are not translated into German, chances are quite high that I'm going to look for another one that is actually translated into German. And I can promise you that I'm not the only one who has this kind of usage behavior when searching for apps or mobile games within the App Store. Now you might think, okay, localizing, that this I already was speaking with my developer, I was already speaking with my translation agency, and they're saying it's a really lot of amount of work that we have to put into. It costs a ton, and I don't know where to get started, where I should get the money from, and stuff like that. Yeah. Here, the quick tip that you can do is start by localizing your App Store listing first and see if you can start building up traction in those specific markets. I know this might result into some reviews that you're getting in terms of, hey, your App Store listing is localized in my language, but your app isn't, and so therefore you're only getting 1 star. I know this can happen, but I can also tell you this will be the minority, and it will really help you a lot to test different localizations before you have to invest a lot of development time or also money for the translations by simply starting to localize your App Store listing. And when we talk about, once again, a hands-on, a tool like AppRadar was, I would say, nearly built for exactly that use case that helps you to localize your App Store listing into different languages very easily. It helps you to keep an overview of all the localizations like we can see here on the screenshot, maybe a little bit small screenshot. Yeah, sorry for that. But you can really see in this case the app title in different languages for this one specific app. And you can easily optimize it there. You can save the changes that you're doing within AppRadar and export them to App Store Connect. So this is really super handy because then you can do the keyword research and the keyword optimization process for multiple languages in one tool. And that is really great. And when we talk about doing those changes with AppRadar, another cool thing is that all your App Store optimization updates are automatically being documented in a form of a changelog, as you can see on the second screenshot. Then you can really analyze your App Store optimization updates. You can check out for which keywords did I start optimizing for, which keywords did I take out of my App Store listing, and you can also connect the dots with the keyword rankings that are affected by those changes that you did, which will give you a really great power and insight into your App Store optimization efforts, especially into what are the results out of them.
Yeah, great results. Well, amazing, great tips. Thank you, Thomas. And definitely publishers are limited resources right now, and they are striving to save some time, efforts, and get best practices. Some tips from my side. Yeah, absolutely. ASA and ASO are like two ecosystems among all the other ones on one planet. And once you apply some changes, it will affect the other ones. So it's in order to reach this synergy and keep this up and running, it's cool to have everything in one place, to see keyword popularity, share of voice, and the share of voice of your competitors down to keywords level. And at the same time, the beauty of this, just to be able to see the organic ranking and jungle with all this data. It's a great opportunity to mark them with clusters, with labels that we have on our platforms, such as HQ, formerly SplitMetrics Acquire. So you can sort out according to your vision, like the best practices, the top performers and spend wasters, and get the best performance out of those testing options. Another tip would be, let's move to the next slide, please. Thank you so much. Another tip would be here is to that we actually our agency team has shared with us, and they try to follow. It's when you do testing keywords for your organic efforts, think carefully. So you need to set up a goal with your team, agree on KPI, timelines, budgets. You can create a report template and then add the result to the template. So it's very important to measure before, to measure during the test, and to measure the aftermaths. So the best practice would be to do some testing in a very clear environment, because otherwise it's hard to get really to measure the results and hard to get the significant results, take into account all the seasonality periods and market changes. Another point here would be, if you do some testing, test each geo separately and do not extrapolate the results from one geo to another. Because they truly perform differently. And a quick tip here, I think that I saw the question in the chat. So it's better to have each geo separately for one campaign and not to have a multiple one, especially if these are geo that you are targeting. You want to track the data for this geos, and it's the best practice to have not all together, and because it's hard to extrapolate the data. Okay, another tip would be definitely creatives are king. It's essential component for your strategy, and it always affects the cost. So it's kind of a direct impact on TTR and on conversions. So there is a inbuilt solution you probably know from Apple Search Ads, like PPO, product page optimization. Or alternatively, if you need to get a better analysis for the user's behavior, to get so many analytic points, you can bring in the external tool like SplitMetrics Optimize. And by the way, guys, we do have like a kind of benchmarks, ASO benchmarks report that you can take as best practices. And kind of a spoiler, I found out that we're going to release a mobile gaming design trends and tips. So keep an eye on keep an eye on our new freshly baked resources. Another tip would be to run discovery campaigns, and if you unlimited resources, you can switch to broad match type. And here my recommendation, if you run discovery campaign, do not set up the narrow targeting options, because what I mean is by narrow targeting is about like age and gender, because if you set this age and gender requirements, you will omit those users who opted out due to all those ADFA changes. So you simply will not reach, and it will reduce the traffic. And as a result, this will give you more low volume search terms. But the main idea for you guys is just to reveal these search terms. So the best case would be just to have all users and all genders for these types of campaigns. And one last but not least, this is to have a proper account structure. Apple Search Ads is really straightforward, and it's essential. What we also do during our trial period, we do the audit, and the first what we do check is the campaign account structure. The best practice is to have this clustering, semantic account structure, and you can cluster them by different themes. Thomas has mentioned that's a great opportunity. And to have, while you are testing, you need to test only in exact match type, because this is the only way you can track this full funnel analytics and get the best, the true performance and not the diluted statistics. One more point here is that if you are doing some testing, like Apple Search Ads testing for ASO efforts, think of the data sample that you would like to set up with your team. Like what would be the best measurement index for you to that you consider will be enough to start the analysis. So and now let's move on. We've discussed the impact on both and shared some tips. I would love to present a real life success story with our lovely client, Rock by Games. Our SplitMetrics agency helped them with ASO and ASA, and as a result, we helped to increase the organic installs. Just a little bit of a story, how it all happened. We analyzed the competitors and then decided to focus on the United States market. By the way, guys, this is not only the best practice, because sometimes the United States is very expensive to start with. And agency just started run Apple Search Ads for this channel to discover new keywords that would be relevant, and according to our best practice, to move this as exact match type. We focus not on brand, but only for generic competitors. And chose a number of these keywords especially relevant for ASO and try to boost them with the help of ASA. So, and after this launch, we noticed that the ranking position for some keywords started moving higher as the users downloaded the game coming from an ad for a relevant keyword. The conversion for the keyword grew, and as a result, this algorithm raised it to a higher position. So just to give you a little bit of numbers, before like launching Apple Search Ads, we had 26 keywords in the top 10 position, and then we grew to 112, and we also grew in general to the top. There were more keywords to the top 20 position, and we also grew in organic installs. This is wonderful results. We are really happy for those results. And another case that actually proves the interrelationship between all those two channels. Okay, one at last but not least again, and highly popular question, guys. I think we can partially cover the question that is already in the chat. It will be regarding the cannibalization. It was like to run or not to run brand or top keywords campaigns. This is always a question and a hot topic to discuss, especially if you are not in number one, if you are in number one position and you are not receiving this tax ad anymore, you know. So there are two scenarios. The first one, if you monitor, check the possible impact on organic ranking from your paid ads. It's called incrementality. And they can be an impact if you are not in number one position. And vice versa, if you are in number one position and you're hitting organic very high, there might be cannibalization effect. Definitely, we cannot but admit that. You can exclude these keywords just to prevent cannibalization, but what our recommendation would be testing its overall impact. For instance, pausing the campaigns for a week or two, and then you can measure the impact on organic traffic change. If there is an uplift in organic, you have cannibalized the number of installs. If there is a drop, then you have incrementality within Apple Search Ads. But to provide as much clean data as you wish, you need to do the testing in isolation from the other marketing activities. So just stop running like other channels like Facebook in order to be able to measure. And but we stick to idea, guys, that regardless of your position in your category, if Apple Search Ads is your key channel for your app or game, publishers need to run brand and top keywords in order to protect at least your brand. And when you stop advertising, well, your rivals then take your sport. Do the analysis, take the solutions that actually can help you understand where the traffic goes to your competitor, and then decide on what would be the best case for you. Yeah. So yeah, let's move on to the next slide. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. That was already a really great introduction into the topic of cannibalization, which is always a topic when we talk about search-related marketing channels, what App Store optimization and also running Apple Search Ads obviously is, because you're looking for specific keywords within a search bar. So therefore, it is a search-related marketing channel. When we talk about cannibalization, I would say on the high level, we can differentiate between brand cannibalization. So this is really something. There are, big companies out there. For example, if we think of Coca-Cola or also Red Bull, an Austrian company, they are not really investing into performance marketing because they have been building up a brand over the years, and they're really pushing very hard to just, everybody kind of knows their brand all around the globe. So therefore, for them, obviously, the topic of cannibalization is a topic because they want to have their brand established. They want to rank on position number one when somebody searches for their brand. On the other hand side, if your app is small, if you're just started out, if your game doesn't have that high presence yet within the App Store, then the topic of cannibalization, brand cannibalization, will not be that tough. For example, if you think of that Pepsi would be running ads on Coca-Cola as keywords, I mean, that would be a really massive hit for them. But if there aren't that many people searching for your name yet, then also the topic of cannibalization obviously isn't that hard of a hit yet. But obviously, and I hope for all of you guys that this also changes and that your brand becomes really known and famous all around the globe. But nevertheless, when we talk about running ads and when we talk about cannibalization in this regard, I think it also, at the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to ensure maximum visibility at an efficient cost level. That is kind of what we're up for. Also, maybe one myth around cannibalization, a question that I'm also getting asked from time to time when we're working together with clients or starting to work together with them. They also ask in the beginning, okay, hey, look, we already checked out in your tool that we're ranking for specific keywords that are very important to us, that are kind of our generic keywords that are describing the use case of our app. And we're running on position number, or we're ranking on position number 6, or maybe on position number 7 organically. And we are afraid of cannibalization, so we're not 100% sure if we should run ads or not. Yeah, long story short, cannibalization is really when we talk about ranking in a top 3 position of a specific keyword. If you're somewhere below that, it's just simply running ads, and you want to run ads because with the help of that, with kind of indirect factors in the background, which means if you're getting good conversion rates on specific keywords, you're getting more and more downloads on the specific keyword. This will also have a positive impact on your organic ranking on the specific keyword, and then you can start climbing up. And maybe if you're ranking on position number 1, then I think it is the time to reevaluate if we are talking of cannibalization on the specific keyword or not. And like Ludmila said here already, test it once you are there and try to find it out. Good. Yeah, and why should you test? Because at the end of the day, every situation and every app is unique. So therefore, it is really hard to tell one statement, and that is applicable to all of you. So once again, I just can highlight, go ahead and test out the stuff. And like Ludmila said, turn off your campaigns, your brand campaigns, for example, but also turn off your Facebook campaigns in the same time period and see what is the impact on your overall downloads. Yeah, and once again, when we talk about cannibalization and when we talk about running ads, this topic, I think also in the background, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if you are not running, if you are having a brand that is quite well established and people are searching for it, and you think to yourself, oh, okay, I'm not going to do that because I think it is really nice. I'm already ranking there organically. I can tell you somebody of your competitors will most likely start running campaigns on your keywords as well. So therefore, once again, keep an eye on that. And last but not least, from my side, when we talk about how should you switch your budgets, I would also say that you should spend at least 10 to 20% of your budget on exploration of new keywords besides already the established keywords that are already built up. And once again, this also plays into your ASO strategy. When you identify really good keywords within those campaigns, then once again, move them over to your App Store listing. And this is where the synergy of App Store optimization and Apple Search Ads really kicks off.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much. Well, this is it. And now we can proceed to the questions. So guys, I take the one that I can see right now, can read. So the majority of spend, this is by Nihil, the majority of spend on low search volume keywords, which is not shown by SA in broad match campaign. Need expert advice here. Well, thank you so much for this question. That's a very interesting one, I would say. When you run discovery campaigns, as I mentioned, broad is meant for discovery. So it's true that sometimes there's a pretty high number. There are pretty high numbers for low volume search terms. We cannot do anything with this. I mean, we cannot reveal once you get the number of impressions for this search term less than 10 per day. But what we can do, there are some workarounds. First of all, there are some tips. Well, let's say, first of all, try, as I mentioned in the presentation, do not set the narrow targeting so that you can cover more traffic and more options, like the users who opted in and who opted out. So all users, all genders will be the best case here. Secondly, when you run broad match, our best recommendation for broad match will be to add only top converters. So in order to mine some long tail combinations and truly relevant keywords for you. And what you are currently facing is just, it could be the case that there is a dilution of statistics. So think about the broad keywords. They shouldn't be too close in their semantics or too close variations. So I mean, like game and games wouldn't be the same keywords in broad because they are too close. And as a result, the traffic will be spread randomly. And in this case, you will get so low volume search terms. So again, think about what you get in broad. I would probably pause too close variations because there might be some random things that are matching. I hope I answered this question. Okay.
Mila. And we have a few more questions. Let me see. Probably, Thomas, you could take this one. What is recommended Apple Search Ads budget for first listing an app in the App Store? Should the budget be small and then progressively increase, or vice versa? What do you think, or it depends? And Ludmila could share her thoughts afterwards as well.
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, I think it depends on your financial situation of your company as well as your app business that you're running. Because at the end of the day, obviously, if you can go in with more budget, you will see results faster. Because you can start targeting more keywords, you will gather more learnings faster. Compared if you're running only on a limited budget, then you have, just simply speaking, let's assume you have $100, and one keyword click costs you $1. You can get exactly 100 clicks. Yeah, so this means your knowledge that you're gathering will be different compared if you have $1,000. You could be gathering 1,000 clicks, which means 1,000 kind of data points that give you feedback. So kind of really coming more from this angle, but nevertheless, I think for a test, you should plan at least $1,000. It's really kind of the start of the kicking budget. But as mentioned, yeah, if you can go higher, you should go higher. And probably you should, one of the things, if your budget is limited, also very important to think about localizing or going for specific markets and not all over the place in your first kind of campaign, because this will also faster burn your budgets, obviously, because you're running simply more ads. But once again, you want to gather knowledge and therefore try to be a little bit laser focused in the beginning. Then you can also get really great insights with lesser budgets as well.
Well, yeah, totally agree with Thomas. What I can add, actually, consider the first month of testing as investment. So we can get, you pay, but it pays off because you get some insights how it performs. And totally agree about the geo, because do not start worldwide. You need to consider what geo to start with, and then think about properly the ASO. We'll talk to your ASO team, get the best keyword cluster set to test these keywords, and then you can get some insights how it performs. And just to tell you from my experience, in order to see the best results, it won't be like vivid within the first month. What we see from our publishers, it pays off a little bit later. So you need to consider that as investment, investigation, and testing, definitely. All right, do we have any other questions? I think I see the one about the custom product pages. I can take this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
So on Apple Search Ads, if you have some custom product pages set up at a group level, and then you have the same bunch of keywords in both sets, would you bid differently on those same keywords, or would you have a different bidding strategy? Thanks, Jan, for this question. Let's recall what this is about, these custom product pages. So they are linked to the semantic group, to the ad group level, right? And once you have properly before, like some other keyword sets similar, and you want to test just this combination, you need to pause the previous keywords and set up the bids. You probably can start with the same bids as far as you got the good performance currently. But the core idea is that to the same keywords, no matter what they have, different CPP, default ones or the old ones, they cannot exist simultaneously. The system is designed like that. So once you set up the custom product page for one for an ad group, the default one doesn't work. So only one custom product page is live. And at the same time, if you have the same cluster of these keywords in another ad group, this will dilute the statistics and you will not get the proper results. So the best case is just to single out the particular set of keywords you would like to link to your custom product page, pause without too manual work of transferring. You just need to think how your current structure is set up, and then have this unique combination of keywords with CPP. And the bid, I would recommend to start the same as you have currently, depending on the current performance. If you're satisfied, just to know how it kicks off the whole process with the new CPP that you have implemented. Well, guys, I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ludmila, for such an extensive and useful answer. And we have 5 minutes left and a few questions. And the next one is, are we sure that the level of investment on ASA has an impact on your organic ranking on stores? This is a question asked by Olivier. Thomas, could you probably handle this one? Thanks.
Yes, super happy to take this over, because it's a really great question. And there is also a lot of myth going around, and the myth that is going around, the most common myth that is also going around with Google is that the more money I'm spending on Apple or on Google in this case, the better my rankings are gonna get, that is not directly connected. So it doesn't mean if I'm spending more money on Apple Search Ads that all my rankings, because I'm spending more money on Apple Search Ads, in other words, giving Apple money and they make me rank better in terms of, because I'm giving them money, that is not directly connected. But the thing that you're generating when you're running Apple Search Ads is you are generating downloads on very specific keywords where you, once again, if those keywords are super relevant to your app or your mobile game, also will have very good conversion rates when your ad is shown and people click on it. So think of it. You're running an ad on a very specific keyword and people searching for this keyword find your ad and everybody is clicking on download because they see, okay, number one result is the best result. It looks really amazing. I want to download this app now. There is a lot of signals that you're giving the algorithm in the background. Because first of all, Apple Search Ads or the Apple search algorithm in the background will understand, okay, the conversion rate on this specific keyword for this app is extremely high. So therefore it must be very relevant. This will already push you a little bit. And then the more volume you're generating through installs on this very specific keyword, you're once again giving the algorithm good feedback in terms of, hey, I'm generating the most amount of downloads on this one specific keyword in the world. So also the algorithm will think of, okay, it's super relevant. It gets tons of downloads. So therefore the app needs to move up because it is the best result that we can show all our users that are entering the App Store. So once again, it is not directly connected to, hey, Apple, take my money and thank you very much. I'm getting better rankings. But if you're running a really good ASA strategy, it will have an indirect positive impact on your ASO strategy as well.
Thank you so much, Thomas, for your answer. And we have only 2 minutes left, but I cannot but ask you to answer another question, which is related directly to ASO. And guys, don't hesitate to send over your questions afterwards. Reach out to Ludmila, to Thomas, and they will answer them. And I remind you that we'll provide the recording. So the answer is, Thomas, which are the main metrics, KPIs you are checking for monitoring the performance of your ASO? Yamil Navarro asked these questions. Could you please name a few metrics? Yeah, thanks.
Yes. So first of all, when we talk about ASO, we're talking about rankings on keywords. So metric number one, keyword rankings for your most important keywords. Once again, you should cluster those keywords into your brand keywords, into competitor keywords, into use case keywords. Maybe you come also up with other categories as well. And then you can start looking at how well am I ranking on those specific keyword clusters. So that is number one. Number 2 is the topic when we talk about in-app store conversion rates, because also there, I mean, it's great if you're ranking for millions of keywords out there, you know, like if your app is shown, but if people are not going to download your app because you're shown on completely irrelevant keywords, then it's also not great, yeah? So therefore, it is also important that you check your conversion rate, especially from search to store view and also from store view to download, because this is really where kind of the magic happens in the background, where you get the feedback on the relevancy. And last but not least, I would say when we talk about ASO, obviously the most important metric that kind of adds up, so to say, the last one is how many installs am I getting through search? And that is also a bit of a tricky one, because when you look into App Store Connect, Apple does combine the traffic that you're getting through Apple Search Ads as well as through App Store Optimization search. They're just saying you're getting a specific amount of downloads through search. But the great news is that tomorrow at App Radar, we are going to release a new feature where you can plug and play App Store Connect. You can already do now, but then you can also connect Apple Search Ads. And there you can then easily identify how much installs am I really getting through organic search.
Yeah, thank you so much, Thomas, and congrats on launching this new cool feature. All eyes on you now. And I would also like to boast we are launching also the extended feature for our organic insights in SplitMetrics Acquire. So guys, stay tuned. I see a few questions left, but like I promised, we'll answer them, guys, later on. We'll send you the recording, the answers to these questions and useful tips. And also, as a bonus, we'll also share the presentation, the slides. I want to say thank you. Huge thanks to all of you for joining us today, for being active and asking questions, for listening to us attentively. Thank you so much, Thomas, and thank you so much, Ludmila. You are gold. You shared so useful tips and insights and like hands-on practices. I'm sure it will be very useful for everyone. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for all your questions. It was really exciting to be here and to present, and a lot more to come, we promise you.
Thank you very much, guys. It was really great. And have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank